Imagine risking everything to escape a regime that wants you silent. Imagine walking through deserts, fearing for your life, just to find freedom. And then imagine using your voice to give hope to millions still trapped behind those same walls. This is the story of Rani Amrani, a Jewish boy forced to chant death to Israel in a country that saw his identity as a crime. A man who fled oppression only to become the voice of truth for those he left behind. But how does a single voice fight a regime? And what happens when hope collides with fear? Stay with us to uncover the extraordinary journey of a man connecting Iran's fight for freedom with the heart of Israel. This is Rani Amrani, a man whose voice carries the hopes and dreams of millions. A Jewish boy who grew up in the shadows of the Iranian Revolution. Rani was forced to hide his love for Israel and his identity to survive. Today, he runs one of the most influential Persian-language radio stations outside Iran. From his studio in Israel, Rani broadcasts truth to millions living under the oppressive regime of the Ayatollahs. But his journey wasn't easy. Arrested as a teenager for speaking out, forced to flee his homeland on foot, and separated from his family, Rani's life has been a testament to resilience and courage. Rani said the following: "I was just 16 when I left Iran. It was dangerous, but I had no choice. I had to escape, or I wouldn't survive. But even then, I knew I couldn't leave my people's struggle behind." This is Rani's story, a story of survival, sacrifice, and an unrelenting fight for freedom. Iran has been home to Jewish communities for over 2,500 years, dating back to the time of King Cyrus the Great. Cyrus, the Persian king, freed the Jews from Babylonian captivity and helped them rebuild their temple in Jerusalem. For centuries, Persia was a place of refuge and prosperity for Jews. Even as empires rose and fell, the Jewish community thrived, contributing to Iran's rich cultural and economic life. By the early 20th century, under the Pahlavi dynasty, Jews experienced a golden age of prosperity. There were doctors, merchants, teachers, and politicians. Iran was home to one of the largest Jewish communities in the Middle East. Rani said the following: "My grandparents would tell stories of a time when being Jewish in Iran wasn't dangerous. We celebrated our holidays openly, we ran successful businesses, and we were part of Iranian society." But everything changed after the 1979 Islamic Revolution. The rise of Ayatollah Khomeini's regime turned Iran into a theocratic state. Jews, like many minorities, were labeled enemies of the revolution. The regime claimed, Rani said, "We're not against Jews, just against Zionists." But that was a lie. Anti-Semitism ran deep in their policies. Jews were viewed as spies for Israel, and we faced constant suspicion. The Jewish population in Iran dropped from over 100,000 before the revolution to fewer than 10,000 today. Many fled, leaving behind their homes, businesses, and synagogues. Those who stayed had to make an impossible choice: speak out and face persecution, or stay silent to survive. Rani said the following: "My parents taught me that while we could never stop loving Israel, we had to hide it. At school, I was forced to chant death to Israel every morning, but even then I refused. I'd whisper something else under my breath, flowers to Israel, knowing it could get me punished." Rani's activism brought him to the attention of the regime. Arrested multiple times for advocating for human rights, his family realized he had no future in Iran. "My parents told me," Rani said, "we're sending you out of the country no matter the cost." I was terrified, but I knew they were right. At just 16, Rani embarked on a dangerous journey. For weeks, he traveled through deserts, crossing borders into Afghanistan and Pakistan, risking his life for freedom. There were moments I thought I wouldn't make it, but during the holiday of Simchat Torah A man pulled out a tiny Torah Bible scroll from his bag, and we danced in the desert under the stars. It gave me strength to keep going. After finally reaching Israel, Rani dedicated his life to fighting the lies spread by the Iranian regime. In 2008, he founded Radio Ran, a Persian-language station that broadcasts the truth to millions. When I started, Rani said, I didn't know if anyone would listen. But then the calls began from inside Iran. People told me, we don't trust our government, but we trust you. That's when I knew this was bigger than me. Through his broadcasts, Rani became a lifeline for Iranians seeking hope and truth, connecting with young people hungry for change. Despite the regime's propaganda, many Iranians admire Israel. Some even see Netanyahu as a modern-day Cyrus, the Persian king who freed the Jews from Babylon. One listener told me, Rani said, we see Israel as our savior. Netanyahu is like Cyrus, and Israel is our hope for freedom. It's incredible to hear that from people living under such oppression. Iran is a land of beauty, history, and potential. If freed from tyranny, it could become one of the most vibrant nations in the Middle East. I believe the day will come, Rani said, when the regime falls, and Israel and Iran will be allies again. The people don't hate us. They dream of joining us. One listener said, when we're free, I want to visit Israel as my first trip. That gives me hope. Will that day come? What role can Israel play in helping Iranians achieve their freedom? Please share your thoughts in the comments below. Rani's story is not just his own. It's the story of a fight that spans borders and generations. It's a reminder that even in the darkest moments, a single voice can inspire hope, and a single act of courage can spark change. His mission connects a free Israel to an oppressed Iran, proving that truth and solidarity have no boundaries. As Iranians rise up against tyranny, their courage inspires the world. But their voices need to be amplified, their struggles understood, and their hopes supported. By standing with them, we become part of the story, a story that one day will be told as the moment freedom triumphed over oppression. Your voice matters. Every like, comment, and share spreads this message further. Subscribe to this channel, click thanks, and let's make sure the voices of those who want peace in this world are heard around the world. Thank you very much for watching.